Hey guys, this is Jan and you're watching SketchaLona episode 35. Thanks for tuning in. This is my weekly vlog in which I show you the sights and sound of Barcelona while drawing to my heart's content in my little sketchbook, and then getting to show you guys how I go about making my little drawings and like what's happening in my life, you know, the usual vloggy stuff. What's been happening? I missed an episode last week, and truth be told, I have been editing so much video for my little fan edit side project, which has completely taken over my life for about 2 weeks, and I tried to put it to a side, but this is like the 5th version of my little fan edit. And just the other day, late at night, I decided that I really need to keep this film under 3 hours, and I probably spent about 3 hours just to get 3 minutes of runtime back. And it was a fun little exercise, like seeing how they cut scenes and like who talks and then the next person talks, and how I tried to save on a little bit of time was just have the last 2 words of one person overlap onto the next scene before the other character starts talking. And so that's how I constantly claim back a couple of seconds here, a couple of seconds there. And then there was very lengthy conversations I found where I just took an entire sentence out. Like, does this conversation still work minus this sentence? Yes, it does. Take it out. I still sneak in a whole day here and there. And so I had shot so much footage walking through the city when I had a surprise visitor that last Sunday I started editing it, and then I kind of just fell asleep and got busy, and I just kind of let it slide for the first time in over 6 months. So I kind of want to catch up this weekend with what's been happening, even though I also didn't want to repeat a lot of the things I said in my first episode of Sketch Doodle Talk, which is really just a new series in which I put the camera on top of what I'm drawing and just try and talk along while I'm drawing, which is not as easy as it looks. So if you haven't checked out that episode, please do. It's just in my little thing. Let me turn off the sound for all my little downloads. And so yes, the fan edit. Let me talk to you about the fan edit. I have now alright, let me start from the beginning just in case you haven't caught up in a while. Besides working on my comic book, I figured I needed a little side project, something I could really sink my teeth into, something a little bit different than just making art, because I've been drawing so much, especially as we were wrapping up the 6-page Life in Space comic book for the V100's anthology, which you'll be hearing about more soon. So I decided to have a little bit more fun playing in someone else's universe and make a fan edit of the Matrix Reloaded and Revolution movies and see if I could treat them as a jigsaw puzzle, move scenes around, come up with a different take on the narrative, and blend it into one single film. That was kind of my aim. So I think we're about, is that gas? That's just weird. So I think we're about 3 weeks in now, 3 or 4 weeks. I've been talking about this on and off. For the last 2 weeks, I have fully devoted my time to making this fan edit because, well, this is one of the things I want to learn. One of the things I really want to, I've noticed is really good for me is to have more than one project going, because it kind of stresses me out in a good way. But then there's always that fine line to walk between like which one gets all of your time or which one gets a little bit of time, and so this project I quickly failed at that. Like I was so enamored by the storyline that started coming out of moving scenes around. I kind of wanted to just get it out of the way a little bit quicker so it would stop eating away at my brain, in the background, while I was trying to make my art. And so I'm happy to say that even though this week I wasn't going to spend much time on it, I did find 2 days, and in those 2 days, I made so much progress. I've got a 3-hour film which has had one viewing with my friend who has a lot of experience producing shorts and acting and like working in film, and I got some very positive feedback. I got some big pointers at where certain scenes weren't working out or there was too big of a jump to make sense of it. But for the most part, the film is watchable. You can follow along the new storyline. I'm really happy how it's coming out. There's some of the really hard scenes with special effects, and I'm not talking about like special effects, but like there's a scene where a character walks out of a door, and instead of the follow-up scene in the original film, I want him to be in a different scene from the other film because I'm moving the scenes around. And so I had to do some overlays with matte paintings and like, I mean, this is already sounding way more complicated and exciting than it actually is, because it's literally a split second. It's like a second done. But it provides a little bit more continuity, which I feel, for myself at least, is important. And then there's because of this continuity problem, because I've been moving scenes around, there's the problem of certain characters that having already met, and then there's the actual scene I want to use in which they do meet for the first time. So I had to change up the dialogue, so I did some voiceovers. Then that led into doing voiceovers for all of the scenes of all, like for that character, which is funny and disturbing, and like I hope it doesn't take people too much out of it. But my friend didn't even notice it was me, so I'm like, yes. And then the hardest special effects new scene that I had to create was at the beginning. I've managed to blend the end of the Matrix, the start of Reloaded, the end of Revolutions, and taken those graphics and soundtracks and like whatnot and blend it into a new beginning for my film, my version of the Matrix Reloaded. But then I needed more. I needed a new intro to the film, which treats it more as a sequel in the sense of we need an intro to what the story is, rather than how the original starts with a dream sequence in which Trinity dies, and then that becomes a motivating factor that the hero obsesses about, which is still all in the film, just not at the start. So I spent a lot of time yesterday finding clips that I could segue, like from Batman Rises, from the news, and I got it. I wrote a new intro. I did a voiceover. It sounds really, really amateurish, of course. Of course, it's also me hearing my own voice, but it sounds pretty bad, I have to admit. So that's the basis is there. The basis is there. My friend watched it. She totally got what I was going for, so that's good. So yes, this is going to be done sooner rather than later. Even though this week I've promised myself not to spend any more time on it, not until the weekend at least, because of the amount of work I've put in the last 3 weeks, because it's time for more art. It's time for comics. I kind of came up with a new project with Ox to maybe collaborate on something. And so I have been working on a little something I want to show you right now. So what you're watching right now is an attempt at making a comic book page where, like, I just want to make some art, put some panels together, and this is, for me, it's really like, it's a nice little exercise to, put out more comic book art because I need to get better and better. And, so I just need to keep at this every single day. And having fallen off the wagon in the last 3 weeks, it was really nice getting back on it today. So this page right here is really just someone coming home from work and getting ready to do what they love most. And then I'm hoping Ox will look at this and like add some dialogue to it. Like he will get to do a little bit of the writing. That's kind of like a little thing we've been talking about. There might also be some other things in the work, but let's see where this is gonna go. Let me know what you guys think of the image you're looking at right now. What do you think it's going to be? Who knows? It might inspire you, and then you get to talk to Ox, and then he gets to kick you up the butt to get going, and we'll all end up making more comics by the end of summer. No, not by the end of summer. Much quicker than that. My current aim is, well, my desire is to make a comic book page every 2 to 3 days. And so this is part of me getting back up to that level from when we had our little competition to get the 6 pages for the Life in Space out the door as quickly as possible, which, I think I managed to do it in about 4 weeks in the end, failing my 3-week limit. But it really, it was really awesome, how we got to push each other that way to, just to see for myself, what I was capable of, under a more serious deadline, and just to keep myself really focused on it. And the work I then put out is some of the best comic book work I've put out yet. So I need some more of that. So that's what you're looking at right now. But I've got this commission, and so I've been working towards finishing up this commission, and I keep drawing the little girl in question who's supposed to be in there, and I keep drawing some more, but I haven't started on the actual commission because I don't feel like I've been dreading it. I've kind of had the idea of what I wanted to do all along. So the studies were really just familiarizing myself with her face. But I kind of want to do a pen and ink drawing. So let me just show you what I have right there. So this is a sketch. So this is basically drawn from the photo. As you can see, I kind of drawing children's faces and proportions is a little bit tricky. So I already started drawing corrections over here. I did use my guidelines. There's too many lines, obviously, so she looks a lot older, so that's all going to be corrected. And then I always thought of doing the fairy wings, so I'm gonna put those in. Got some giant strawberries, this whole land of milk and honey thing kind of has this romantic, for me it has this romantic meadowy vibe to it that should be very colorful, but it's probably going to be black and white. So, but lush old trees crawling across, lots of roots, lots of grass. She's sitting on one of the trunks. So right now, I have been working for about, I'd say about an hour and a half on this commission. So this commission, of which the theme is the Land of Milk and Honey, is a drawing of the daughter of someone I work with. Should be about A4 size, and that's it. But then I did say I'm gonna put it on a nice big piece of paper and then draw in the middle so you get a nice little border around it. And so yeah, so that's kind of what I'm having fun with. I made a lot of studies for this this little girl in particular, because the most important thing for this commission is, of course, getting the face right. So if you watched last week's episode, I showed you some of these already, some quick sketches I made. So yesterday I succeeded in getting the body and the face, like the likeness, correct. That one. And I made a little video about it. Well, not really about the drawing, but really I made a video as I was making it that is up on my channel, Sketch Doodle Talk. I got the likeness right and in ink, because I figured if I don't get that, the centerpiece of the drawing, correct from the start, then I might as well start over. The only thing I don't like so far is there's a couple of really thick lines on the wings, because I'm turning her into a little bit of an elf. And yeah, I don't like them. But who knows how the rest of the drawing comes out, and then maybe it's appropriate and puts her nice and front and center. So a lot of the texturing is kind of done on the go. I think I've had plenty of practice in the past year, so I feel confident, but at the same time, there's like, when was the last time you drew lettuce? You know, so there's stuff I haven't drawn, so it's interesting. And I think the big challenge of this drawing in particular is going to be, maintaining a balance. Like, it's going to be very detailed. There's going to be lots of stuff to look at, but at the same time, maintain the balance with lots of white areas. Thinking back to the workshop I did in Sevilla with Jake Parker, like he had that 30-70 rule, like 30% like high detail and 70% just kind of keep it empty. And he also gave us examples at the workshop of when he breaks his own rules, but then he applies the 30-70 rule to color. So you maintain that kind of balance of like where you want to draw the eyes and like where you want to give the eyes rest. It's been a long day. I think I've got it. I think I've got all the main parts done, except for a little bit of a background or around it. I haven't decided. It's getting late though, it's already 10. So let me just show you what I have. Overall, I'm very happy with how it came out. I'd like some like a vineyard or something over here. I'd like something over here maybe, rather than the on the inside of the box. But then I'm getting a little carried away, I think, especially for now. I think it's time to call it a day. Hey guys, so I had a little siesta, so I overslept. So now all the stores are closed, and I need something to transport this tomorrow to hand it over along with some of the sketches. So I just bumbled into this box. So I think this is gonna make pretty good art folder. Check it. It's okay. Now for the rest of the cardboard. That's a very arty shot. Wow. Aside, I've got mail. So let's have a little look what I've got. Ooh, this is a sticky one. I love like supporting indie creators, indie comic book creators. Unfortunately, living out here can be a bit pricey with the postage, and so therefore, I have to be a little bit selective. I probably buy way more comic books than I am right now. If it wasn't for the damn postage. But the bonus of it all is they do tend to throw in extras. So check out these. Oh, it's a bit blurry, I'm sure. Can't see. These are from Kevin Cross, creator of Monkey Mod. You may have heard of him. He's quite prolific on the YouTubes. Cool. Little note, always cool. And I am very excited where Kevin's comic book is going, having seen over more than a year like how he's been developing it and like how he's working really hard in his spare time on it. And now all of a sudden he's doing colors, as I got to see on his Patreon hangout video the other day. It's looking really good, very good. So in the meantime, he's been expanding into merchandise, and so I have here two, because I figured I might as well get two. Monkey Mod. Enamel pins, which are looking fantastic. Should I keep it in the cover? Keep it mint? I'm not much of a collector like that. No, I am not. Okay, this is looking really cool. I thought it was actually black, but it's like reflective. That's really cool. Very nice. These are going on my board. And I won a prize the other day. So let's see what's in here from Joshua Kimball from California. Let's see what he's got. This is, if I am not mistaken, I should really wait and see first before I say anything. His one of his indie comic books. Oh my god. Wow, that's really cool. Check out the shape. Winner of awards too. Very nice. Oh my god. This is a pretty old comic I did. I hope you enjoy. Yeah, okay, we got everything. Imagine that if someone like, oh, so what'd you think of that? And you accidentally chucked it out with the envelope. Wow, this is really cool. Oh, check out the art. Very cool with the color. I am gonna have a lot of fun reading this, and I'll get back to you guys. So I can do it on and then like. Hey guys, it's only a Wednesday afternoon. Actually, scratch that. It's Thursday. See, I don't even know what time of the week it is, but yesterday I finally sat down. I had a bit of a nap. Sat down and I did my half an hour of comic book. Just like old times. I finally laid down some pencils for a new page. It's been a long time coming, but yeah, it was nice, man. It's a little bit of a secret project. All will be revealed, but yeah, it was really nice. I hope to get down and dirty with some tight pencils later on, so I'll keep you posted on that one. In the meantime, I still have about half an hour to go before I'm home. It's a nice brisk walk. Apparently it's good for you. Probably stop somewhere and get some groceries. Maybe, just maybe, to take the edge off, a can of beer, because I don't know if you can notice just watching this video, but man, it's hot. It's only 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and it is just boiling. So, crazy story. On one of these brisk walks home, I bumped into a friend, a co-worker from 14 years ago. We used to work together in the Hard Rock Cafe in London, and kind of stayed in touch on Facebook as one does. And like, I had no business being in that part of town, and I don't know what she was doing there because there's nothing to see. But we both stopped and caught up and exchanged messenger, so to speak. And then after the Primavera Festival, for which she was in town visiting all the way from Thailand, which is where she's from, we, you know, as one does, hit the town, had a few beers, checked out some of the sites, had a ton of amazing food.
Nothing happened.
Then we made our way through Raval, took a wrong turn, end up in this bombed out street full of incredible street art. And yeah, so we just had a beautiful Sunday catching up on 14 years. Which, isn't that a Guns N' Roses song? But anyway, I hope you guys have had fun catching up with me this week in this lengthy episode 35 of SketchaLona. Hope you enjoyed the sights and sounds and some of the artwork that I've been making in the last week and a half or so that you've been able to watch come together. And I can't even talk anymore. Oh my God, is it getting late? Well, maybe it's time for another coffee. Maybe it's time to hit the sack. But I will see you guys next week. Stay cool. Make lots of art. Hit me up in the comments down below. And I'll find my way back to your channel and your videos and see what you've been up to this week. So until then, hasta luego. So we're just making our way through Port Vell, and of course, in style. Lots of chocolate, we got some cheese, it's time to hang out.